You've probably heard of Ozempic, the anti-diabetic drug turned weight loss drug that everyone and their mother can't stop talking about. But what if I told you that your body already made the same fat burning hormones and you can boost it in your body by eating certain foods? Even if you don't have money, you can naturally increase the amount of this substance that your body produces just by eating the right foods. As a doctor, I believe in giving people sustainable tools and not just prescriptions. Today, I want to show you how popular foods that can easily be found can help to stimulate this popular weight loss hormone in your body. GLP1 stands for glucagon-like peptide 1, and it's a substance or a hormone that your body produces in response to food that helps you control your blood sugar, gives you this feeling of satiety, and helps you to lose weight by curbing your appetite. It's exactly what medications like Semaglutide, tirzepatide, they try to produce more GLP1 in the gut. These drugs are more or less a miracle. They've shown great efficacy in what they are meant to do, especially for diabetes and controlling blood sugar, which is great, but they do come with their own set of side effects, such as muscle wasting. Up to 40% of the weight that you lose on GLP1 is from your muscles, and we all know that for longevity benefits, you want to try and preserve as much muscle as you can. There's also the side effect of gastroparesis that some people have to go through. There's also an increased chance of thyroid medullary carcinoma while taking GLP1s, and also some people have reported pancreatitis. Not to mention, the major flaw is the price. Like, families spend hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars to acquire these medications per month, and that is not by any means cheap at all. And because they are so expensive, they are really difficult to take in the long haul. Now, to be fair, these foods I'm about to mention, they're not going to give you the same amount of increase as these GLP1 drugs. They are going to give you a milder boost, and because it's cheaper and more attainable, it's also sustainable over a longer period of time. But nonetheless, if you incorporate more of these foods into your diet, then you will see a definite increase in hunger, satiety, and appetite, especially when you continue it for more than a year. These are my top 6 foods that are high in fiber that help to stimulate GLP1 the most, and I promise you that number 1 will surprise you. Number 6 is chia seeds. Guys, I really love chia seeds. It's one of those foods that you might have to get used to the texture, but once I did, it's golden. Really high in soluble fiber, really high in insoluble fiber, and it's also really high in omega-3 fatty acids, all which are great for stimulating natural GLP1, because when you add bulk to your food in that way, it slows down the transit time of the food through the intestines, and the slower your food moves, the more GLP1 is released. 5 is avocados. Oh my god, anyone who has had avocados or who is used to avocados can attest to just how full they make you, and it's because of 2 things: the high quality fat content and also the high fiber content. One avocado contains about 15 grams of fiber, which is half of the amount that an American adult needs in a day. Now, that is phenomenal for about 300 calories of fruit, but avocados are especially great in increasing that feeling of fullness, along with the omega-3 fatty acids. They both combine to reduce transit time and also increase production of GLP1. So if you were to have some kind of avocado toast every morning or have it with your oats, you will see that over time you start to feel less hungry than you would have in the past. Number 3 is lentils and beans. Lentils and beans are high in fiber, insoluble fiber. They are also really high in resistant starch, and they are high in protein. Now, in line with what we were talking about, fiber and resistant starch are especially great to add bulk to the food and to slow down transit time, all which help to stimulate the natural GLP1 and to increase levels of fullness. Beans and lentils are my number 4. And number 3, we have broccoli and cruciferous vegetables. This is because of a substance called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane helps to support gut inflammation, hormone sensitivity, and also to increase GLP1 production in the gut. If you're to start adding cruciferous vegetables to your diet, please go slowly. Don't add a bunch at once because it can make you feel really, really bloated, even though it goes away over time, but it can be really uncomfortable at the start. So start slowly to add broccoli and cruciferous vegetables to your diet. Now, number 2 is fermented foods, so such as sauerkraut, kimchi, and in Nigeria, locust beans. So plant-based probiotics, which also happen to be prebiotics. These plant-based fermented foods help to increase gut microbiome diversity, and that's especially important because when we have these happy microorganisms in our guts, they ferment leftover food just before it reaches the large intestine, and it produces something called short chain fatty acids. Short chain fatty acids are like a matchstick for GLP1. In other words, your gut bugs are doing the heavy lifting, so treat them well. Number 1 is apple cider vinegar. When I first heard of apple cider vinegar and people using it for weight loss, I thought it was one of those harmless fads that people usually do. I didn't really take it seriously until I saw the actual studies on it, which show that acidifying your stomach before eating by taking apple cider vinegar actually helps to increase the amount of GLP1 that is released after that particular meal. So it makes it super easy. Then all you need to do is to add some vinegar to your salad dressing, or remember to take a shot of apple cider vinegar before you eat, or remember to dilute it in water and to drink it with a straw to protect your teeth. So you might be wondering why all of this matters and why me as a doctor am asking you to take food over pharmaceutical interventions. While I do agree that GLP1 is a breakthrough medication and it's a blessing to anyone who is able to afford it, I also know that a lot of people are not able to afford it, especially in these times when there's kind of a cost of living crisis. One, people might not be able to afford it long term. Anyone who has lost any significant amount of weight knows that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you might have to continue doing whatever you're doing for 1, 2, even 5 years to solidify your weight. And a lot of people are not able to maintain the cost of GLP1 past 2 years. I know because there was a study done that showed that people significantly dropped out of treatment after 3 months because they could no longer afford it. So then that begs the question, what happens when you stop? Do you gain the weight back, or do you continue microdosing for a really long time? So while I would say if you can't afford it, go for GLP1, I'm making this video for those people who can't necessarily afford GLP1 but would like to reap some of its benefits. Eating healthy is more sustainable in the long term. Thirdly, the complications. So there are complications that can arise with any medication, and GLP1 is not an exception. And so in addition to the cost of GLP1, one also has to factor in the possible cost incurred when you have to then manage the complications like gastroparesis or pancreatitis. So that can be an additional medical cost that a lot of people just might not be able to bear. Going the more natural way might be the best option for someone who A, doesn't have so much money, and 2, has a lot of weight to lose and has to lose it over a longer period of time. You don't need a prescription to restart your metabolism. You just need the right information and a plate full of powerful, gut-friendly, fiber-rich foods. These options are plant-based, accessible, and more than likely sitting in your kitchen already. If you found this video helpful, I've got more videos coming up about metabolism, women's health, sustainable fat loss from a doctor's perspective. So if you're curious where this path could take you, I'll be right here.